I work for Turtle, and we are a maritime recruitment platform connecting shipping companies and seafarers globally in a fair and compliant way. And I would like to share a little bit about our experiences on digitalization within recruitment, and also in how far that is empowering the position of the seafarers in general. So when we started with Turtle a few years ago, we had a look at different areas of digitalization, and we think it's very important also to highlight that recruitment is not the only part that has been heavily affected by digitalization with regard to the seafarers. So there are nearly 2 million seafarers globally, and recruitment is only one part of the areas that are to be highlighted there. So we have just listed a few of them here. One of them is, of course, improved ship and shore communication that relates to the professional part, the communication between the seafarers and the office, but also, of course, for the private life. Seafarers can now communicate much more with their friends and family, and they have also easier access to, for example, mental health solutions and also medical help, which we will, I think, also go a little bit more into here on the panel later on. Ship operations have become more efficient. Navigation has also been affected quite a lot with regard to actors, for example. And then we have, of course, the recruitment part. So the seafarers have easier access to job opportunities. They have also much easier access to, for example, tests, trainings and education. So in the past, they had to be much more present physically. And nowadays, a lot of these things are available remotely, which helps the seafarers a lot. And they can even, to some extent, also share, for example, certificates digitally. So when we look at our work at Turtle, we have around 150,000 seafarers signed up, and we work with seafarers from more than 150 countries globally, and it's a very easy process for them. So the seafarers sign up, they complete their profile, we check the profile, and right away shipping companies can reach out to them for global job opportunities. But when we started a few years ago, the landscape looked a bit different. So we see that over here, there were a lot of different players in the market. We have the seafarers on the one side, we have a lot of manning agencies on the other side, as well as the shipping companies, so owners and managers. So it's a very decentral setup, and we wanted to change that a bit because we thought it's really, there's an urgent need to have a central solution where seafarers can find job opportunities. And this fragmented market is not the only characteristic that we saw, or which was a trigger for us to get started. We also saw several other areas. So one is that there is a big shortage of crew. So just over the next coming years, we see an officer shortage of 80,000 qualified seafarers, and that is for officers alone. And in addition to that, there are also other aspects, new fuel technologies. We already heard about it, new qualifications are needed, and that calls for a very efficient way to connect seafarers on the one side with potential employers on the other side. Processes were also very manual, so it's very time-consuming to run through a whole recruitment process for both sides. Also that we wanted to improve, and there is a compliance gap that we see. Seafarers are sometimes asked to pay to get on board. I will share a little bit more on that, but also this can be avoided with a transparent and efficient digital solution. And last but not least, seafarers, they just like to be in touch with their future employers directly. So they want to be in the driving seat of their career, talk to their future employers, and all that were triggers for us to get started. So our ambition was to have a central platform that is really empowering the seafarers in their recruitment process. They should have fast and easy access to job opportunities. It should be without any fees. There should be a focus also on diversity. So the focus should be on the profiles of the seafarers, and everybody with a good profile and ambition to work in the industry should also get a chance to do that. And it's also important to protect the personal data of the seafarers throughout the whole process. So I have today brought a few examples on how with this solution we could empower seafarers within the recruitment process, and we think it's very important to shed some light on how that can look like. So we are starting with the first example, our experienced engineer. His name is Peter. He's 40 years old. He has a lot of experience already working as a second engineer, and his current employer is reducing the fleet. So he has had a good time there so far, but due to fleet developments, he needs to look for a new position. So he knows that he has good chances on the job market, but he would like to check his opportunities with several different companies, and he needs an efficient tool to do that. So this is a very typical example of seafarers that are coming to us. They usually don't remain in the job search for a very long time, so it's a rather short process for them. They sign up, they talk to different employers, and they also find a new employment very quickly. So it's a good example for us for a really self-determined career, and this type we really see a lot on our platform. But not everybody is like Peter. We also have Harry. So he is 20 years old, coming from India, and 22 years old from India, and he wants to start his career as a seafarer. He's looking for a cadet position on board of a container ship, and he has shared that he has been asked to pay actually to get on board. So he was asked to pay several thousand, $4,000 to come on board, and he is not the only example who was confronted with these requests. So when we started to work with the seafarers at Turtle, we got more and more questions about how much does it cost actually to get on board, and the answer is very simple. It doesn't cost anything, because it's also not allowed to charge seafarers to get access to job opportunities. But we got a bit suspicious, and we wanted to understand the problem a bit better. So what we did is we teamed up with other non-profit organizations in the industry, for example the Maritime Anti-Corruption Network, the Sustainable Shipping Initiative, and so on. And we launched a survey among our seafarers. We got 5,000 replies, and we found out that 40% of these seafarers said they had experience with corruption as part of their work, and 70% of these mentioned that this was related to recruitment. And the large part of that was recruitment fees that were paid or should be paid to get a job, or also fake job offers that were put out there where people should pay in advance. So for us, that was very alarming, also because it was related to the most recent years. And what the seafarers also told us is that in most cases, they simply did not report these cases. And the reason was that they just didn't know where to do that. So for us, it is very important to create some awareness around this topic. On the one hand, because we think when there is awareness in the industry among employers, but also among seafarers, what is right and what is not right, this can improve the situation. And secondly, we think with the right tools, digital platforms, for example, that are very transparent for the users, for the seafarers, we can also give them a way to escape these corruptive demands and still start a career within shipping. Because as an industry overall, this really keeps good people away from entering the industry, and we have just heard we need 80,000 additional officers over the next year, so it's really important that we get good candidates into the industry, and by giving them easy access, this is one important criterion to make that happen. So we really want to help people like Harry, give them good access to job opportunities in a fair way. So this was our second example. We also have a third one. Eileen, so a female junior officer. She is coming from Turkey, third officer, and working in the LPG segment. And she's also a typical example of seafarers that are using a digital platform like Turtle. So she had some issues to find a suitable employer, has been looking around, has then signed up and found a reputable LPG company already did several contracts with the company, was also promoted to second officer, and that we used together with the company to showcase this in social media. We did a video together with the seafarer and also the company, because we think it is important to share these stories and also show other companies how it can be done, and also encourage seafarers to really go out there and look for the right opportunities in the market. And today there are only 1.2% female seafarers in the global workforce among these 1.9 million seafarers. So it's a very short fraction so far, but we see that the topic of diversity on board, not only for female seafarers but also diversity overall, is gaining importance. So it is part of the ESG agenda, and more companies put a high focus on this, and at the same time also more companies really implement this, but it is not all companies that do that. So for us it is important to give candidates like Eileen good access to the right companies, and by that also encourage the industry overall to work more on this and create better and more diversity on board. And the examples that I have shared now, they are not the only ones showing how you can empower seafarers during the recruitment process. So there are many more, also smaller aspects that you can apply and that can be more easily applied with digital solutions, how seafarers can be empowered. So one example is online mentoring. So you can bring seafarers together, experienced ones and also very junior ones, and share knowledge and support each other. You can give them access to salary benchmarks, so that empowers them in the recruitment process to know what a decent salary is, what others are expecting, and gives them more confidence. I already mentioned success stories that can be shared in social media, which also encourages them. And then there is the community aspect, which we think is important, so that seafarers overall can have exchange with each other, but also focus groups, which means the seafarers with companies like Turtle, to really understand what the seafarers would like to have. And of course, seafarers should have the opportunity also to rate and share experiences on employers they have worked together with or companies they have been in touch with. So we are really looking forward to increase that list and empower the seafarers more going forward, and I look forward to also the discussion with the other panelists just now after the presentations. So, thank you.
Thank you very much, Alexander.